All right. Welcome back, you Inglorious Bastards, the magnificent. It is I, Dr. Mo, and we're back for my thought of the day. And I gotta change. Why do it always changes the settings on this thing for me. Like, you guys listening to me, I know this doesn't affect you at all, but it keeps shutting off. There we go. My backlight. They don't shut off my backlight. That should be automatically on. But now we're getting into my thought of the day, and we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about Biden and the administration becoming Chauvin trial, jury attending protests, like that being a farce, and the ongoing Asian hate. And we're going to pick something random of like something in the last little while, and we're going to talk about that because I like doing new news, or let's just say in current news, and sometimes doing local news, like small things that big media don't cover. Like we might even try and figure out what's going on with the Epstein thing, because nobody has been talking about that since we've been there. But now is that show where we gonna ask for you to like, subscribe, share, subscribe, do all those nice things to boost us up in the algorithm and help beat that censorship machine. We're gonna continue going no matter what. That's why we have our platform at www.thatsomepoint.squarespace.com. You can go there and you can contribute to us directly. It's the best option forward. But anyway, we're all in this battle for free speech, all in this battle for our rights together, and only you can help us beat that censorship machine. Only we together can help beat that censorship machine. There's a promo going. One subscriber is gonna get we're gonna choose them at random, but it's gonna get the Like a Government shirt. And it's gonna so we're reaching out at the end of the month and asking for like stuff for that. But we're gonna talk about the fucking president of the United States. I can't believe this dude won. But let's get right into here. Get right into this first segment. Boom! Biden admin mulls partnering with private firms to monitor extremists. I mean, that's it. The Biden administration is reportedly considering contracting outside firms to track extremist chatter online in order to circumvent legal restrictions on the surveillance power of federal agencies like the Department of Homeland Security. While the move would expand the government's intelligence gathering capability, it would also add fuel to the widespread criticism of the government's vast surveillance power and spawn possible legal actions over monitoring of American CNN reporting, citing sources. The DHS is limited in its ability to surveil Americans on social media sites without strong justification and is prohibited from using false identities to get access to private messaging apps used by groups like Proud Boys and Oath Keepers, the report said. Like, why? The Oath Keepers are not terrorist organizations. If the people that are keeping the oath of the Constitution of America above all else are considered terrorists, our government is beyond help.
Winning? No.
It just really is. It's beyond help at that point. The federal government is only allowed to browse for the public information on platforms like Facebook and Twitter. Yeah, the public information that you put out public. I mean, if you put it out on the internet and you put it out publicly and it's there for all to see and it's used against you in a court of law, that's your own fucking fault. You had the right to remain silent, and you probably should have exercised it. To get around those restrictions, the federal government is reportedly weighing and listing outside entities that can legally encounter these groups and gather information. Working with these companies would allow the Department of Homeland Security, or the NEF, the Nazi Enforcement Force, to better analyze trends and provide more real-time information for its use, and for the NEF, which also is unable to surveil U.S. citizens without first getting a warrant or providing some overreaching justification like a previous investigation. I mean, you should have to have a fucking warrant. That's the Fourth Amendment right, you fucking pieces of shit.
You suck!
The NEF and the Nazi Enforcement Agency are under similar restrictions. They should be. Everyone should be. Even private companies should be. They have too much fucking power. The idea comes as the NEF came under heat for compelling reports of journalists and unmasking private citizens during last year's protests in Portland. It also comes in the wake of failures to track down one federal agencies about the scope of the January 6th U.S. Capitol riot that led to the Capitol Police and other law enforcement agencies being overwhelmed by the mob. Capitol Police and other law enforcement agencies were not overwhelmed by the mob on the Capitol riot or the Capitol insurrection or whatever you want to call it. They opened the door and let these bitches in. There's a tension between wanting to empower NEF's intelligence office to do this kind of work around domestic terrorism on the one hand, and then on the other hand, misuse of its capabilities during the summer of 2020 gives a lot of people on the Hill pause when it comes to potentially giving them new authorities, capabilities, or resources, a Senate aide told the CNN. They were violating people's rights all fucking summer. The government needs to be torn the fuck down. All these people need to be fired, and we need to put new people in. The system is fucking broken. They let a jury that they haven't arrested yet, that lied, which is perjury, that said he didn't attend these fucking George Floyd riots onto this fucking Chauvin trial, even though there's fucking video of him attending the motherfucking riots. I mean, don't get me wrong, Chauvin's guilty of negligence. If you don't check somebody's health for 8.5 minutes when they're in your custody, you're fucking negligent. But that trial was an absolute farce. We'll get into that, though. No. There's only limited awareness before January 6th on what violent extremists were planning through social media. Tom Warwick, a senior fellow at the Atlantic Council who served as NEF Deputy Assistant Secretary for Counterterrorism Policy from 2008 until 2019, told CNN. He said he would expect NEF to work outside contractors to track online plots, but added that whatever gets approved and implemented has to comply with established laws. While much of the planning for the January 6th riots happened out in the open on social media platforms, an increasing number of people to encrypted apps that allow them to hide their intentions and to thwart law enforcement agencies. Tracking on those sites require getting access to private groups.
You suck!
And by the chat it hits Facebook or Twitter, it's usually too late, the NEF official told CNN. Domestic violent extremists are really adaptive and innovative. We see them not only moving to encrypted platforms, but obviously coaching their language so they don't trigger any kind of red flag on any platforms or office. Our system is set up this way on purpose. So not violent extremists, but freedom fighters, because you're the Nazi enforcement agency, can we're becoming a fascist, totalitarian mess. And it's definitely not winning. We need to figure out how to unfuck this, and we need to unfuck quick. I'm just saying. All right, moving along, we're going to actually get into the creed that was the Chauvin trial, and nobody involved is a winner on this. No. So, we all know what happened. Chauvin's the guy that nailed on George Floyd's neck. Some people think he killed him. Some people think he did it because he was black, and some people did it. Apparently, there's talk that he assaulted another child, a black child, and beat him with a flashlight and like that. And he went to court for it. It was, I don't know the outcome of that, but they never released the body cam footage. So I can't verify whether or not he does or he doesn't. So if you don't release the body cam footage, that's automatically a red flag to me. But I can't. So that's neither here nor there. But he might have had a history of being this violent. But on top of all that, he had the 8.5 minutes the dude was going through what we now know from the medical experts for the trial was definitely an overdose of drugs, right? So they sat with his knee on his shoulder. We're gonna give everyone the benefit of the doubt here, right? So he shot with his knee on his shoulder for 8.5 minutes without assessing his health. That is fucking negligence. He sat there and let that dude die.
Winning? No.
I mean, finding him guilty of both intentional and unintentional murder is kind of stupid. Like the trial capitulated to terrorism, and they had a jury that was like a lying perjury under oath, and nobody's arrested him. Nothing's going to happen to him. I really, it's fucking sad. But the whole people that the defense is going for a new trial completely. Chauvin, let's get into this. Chauvin juror on attending protest. It was a good opportunity to be part of something. A juror who voted to convict former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin of murdering George Floyd is defending his decision to attend social justice demonstrations last year. And you attending the demonstrations is not what's the problem. The problem is when they were going through jury selection to choose who should and shouldn't be on the jury to make a fair and impartial jury. They asked you if you attended those demonstrations, and you flat out told them no, which is perjury under law. That's a fucking federal crime.
You suck!
I'm sorry, it is what it is. It's never been to D.C. Juror Brandon Mitchell told the Associated Press, referring to the march to commemorate. I've never been to D.C. Juror Brandon Mitchell told the Associated Press, referring to a march to commemorate Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. The opportunity to go to D.C., the opportunity to be around thousands of black people, I just thought it was a good opportunity to be part of something, he added. A photo at the event was recently recirculated by critics who suggested he was not an impartial member of the Journey Pair. He lied and said he was never...
No.
If you're not impartial, why lie? During the jury selection process, AP noted all jurors were asked 2 questions as part of a jury selection questionnaire. Did you or someone close to you participate in any of the demonstrations and marches against police brutality that took place in Minneapolis after George Floyd's death? The first ask. And the second ask is, other than that, what you have already described above, have you or anyone close to you participated in protests about police brutality or police brutality? Mitchell reportedly said no to both questions, which is a fucking lie if he was in D.C. at that demonstration. Mitchell separately told Chauvin's attorney during the jury selection process he had a very favorable opinion of the Black Lives Matter movement and that some police officers are great guys. He insisted that he could be impartial during the trial.
Why the you lying?
It was directly related to the MLK's March on Washington from the 60s. The date of the March on Washington is the date. It was literally called the anniversary of the March on Washington, Mitchell told the Star-Tribune in reference to demonstrations he attended last year. Not only did he just attend these fucking demonstrations and shit last year, he was on this fucking interview.
Stop lying.
And he flat out was like, that's how you affect change. You got to get on these juries to affect change. No, you don't get on the juries to affect the change you want to see in your communities. You get on the jury to be a fair and an impartial arbiter of fucking justice. Our justice system is trash. Chauvin needs to be acquitted. Better one guilty man get off than fucking a bunch of innocent people be fucking chewed up by this fucking disgusting system we call a justice system. It's a farce. I mean, it really is. At this point, it's a fucking farce. The defense just fucking appealed to have a new trial, and guess who the appeal goes to? The judge that made the verdict. Like, why the if you're appealing and saying that the court system was trash, that the court system you're saying is trash makes the decision on whether or not your appeal is heard. That is garbage. There should be a higher authority or a higher court or something that you appeal to.
Winning. No.
There is a higher authority, then maybe that's who the appeal process should go to, because the judge that you're saying was trash shouldn't be the one granting you an appeal on grounds that the judge was trash. That's a fucking conflict of fucking interest, man. This is fucking garbage. Our system is fucking broken. They're coming after our fucking rights. Nobody can get justice anymore. Like George Floyd didn't get justice. Fucking the Chauvin officer didn't get justice. Nobody's getting justice. We don't capitulate to terrorism, and they should have just had a fair fucking trial. They should have found him fucking negligent, and he should have fucking went to jail for fucking unintentional manslaughter. Like, fucking boom, boom, bang, bang, boom, 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 done. Winning. But instead, no, we found him guilty of intentional murder and guilty of unintentional murder. Well, which one was it? Intentional or unintentional?
You
suck! At the same fucking time, with the fucking tainted jury, a fucking bullshit court proceedings.
Winning. No. You suck!
It was just disgusting. This whole fucking situation is disgusting. You're burning down your own fucking neighborhoods, saying white people are the fucking problem, even though you're burning down your own fucking neighborhoods. There's fucking Asian crime going on. Our children are fucking stabbing each other. Like, what the fuck is going on, America? How the fuck did we get here? This is fucking outrageously fucked up. We're a fucking circus. There's jokers to the left of me and clowns to the left of me, sorry, and jokers to my right.